Hey everyone, this is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going to go over the NBA basketball sports card market. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got all of that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. I did want to say that I hope everyone is having a great weekend and Sunday so far. The main goal and purpose of today's video is to take a look at the NBA basketball sports card market. We are currently about a month and a half into the season, so I just wanted to do a quick check-in to see how the NBA sports card market is currently holding up. Now, typically what we've seen in the past, and again, this is just the past, it doesn't really indicate what's going to happen in the future, but what we've seen in the past is that once the playoffs end for the NBA and we head into off-season, the NBA sports card market as a whole tends to trend down. And then as we get closer to the start of the regular season, the NBA sports card market tends to trend up. That's due to a lot of hype and also attention on the NBA season starting. And then once the NBA season actually starts, that's typically when we start to see a slow downtrend throughout the season. Now, there are going to be a few players that really exceed expectations. Those cards are going to increase, but for the NBA sports card market as a whole, it normally downtrends throughout the regular season. And then heading into the playoffs is really when we start to see some more price action. So if a player or team really exceeds expectations or advances into the playoffs, then their cards are typically going to go up, whereas if a team or player doesn't do as well as anticipated or gets knocked out earlier, their cards are going to go down. So in the playoffs, it really depends on particular player and their performances, but we are currently in the middle of the regular season. So if we were comparing this to prior year's data, it would be normal to see a downtrend. However, when looking at some of the charts that we're going to go over today, it is pretty apparent that we are seeing a lot of downtrends in the NBA basketball sports card market, and they're not down a couple percentage points or anything like that. We're seeing some pretty big declines this season for the NBA. So I'm going to start off with a couple players that I found that really exceeded expectations and their cards are going to be up. And then I'm going to switch over to some really popular players who are still playing pretty well, but their cards in turn are still down pretty significantly since the start of the season. So I'm going to get started off here with some players that are playing really well at a high level, just to take a look at how their cards are performing. I'm going to start off with Steph Curry, and I have his 2009 Topps base rookie card. This one's going to be in a PSA 10. This is a very expensive rookie card here, currently selling at about $11,200, so again, very expensive. But Steph Curry has had an amazing season this year. A lot of people are writing him and the Warriors off this year. They are currently in first place in the West and have the best record in the NBA. And they're doing all of that without Klay Thompson. So again, a really good year for the Warriors and also Steph Curry. And in turn, his card's up 3.7%. So a minor increase for Steph Curry. And the time range for this is October 19th to current day. And I'm doing October 19th because that is the start of the NBA season. So I'm just tracking back to the start of the season to see how we've trended since the season has actually started. And since the start of the season, this Steph Curry rookie card is up about 3.7%, which I thought was pretty interesting because Steph Curry, again, is having an amazing year. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the best shooters of all time, if not the best shooter of all time. And his card is still up 3.7%. So I would kind of expect that to be up a little bit more, but still in turn, we do have a minor increase for Steph Curry and his 2009 Topps base rookie card in a PSA 10. Another player that has really exceeded expectations this year is Andrew Wiggins, also on the Warriors. So the theme here is going to be a lot of the players that have exceeded expectations are going to be on the Warriors because they are off to such a fast and hot start. But I have his 2014 Prizm base rookie card. As you can see there with the rookie card logo on the top left of the card, this one again is going to be in a PSA 10. And since the start of the season, this card is actually up a whopping 76%. So a very big increase for Andrew Wiggins and this particular rookie card. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Andrew Wiggins was an extremely high draft pick when he was drafted. A lot of high expectations were built into him. And then a lot of people wrote him off on the Timberwolves. He wasn't really living up to that high draft pick. And then he ended up on the Warriors, and he's really put together a very solid season with the Warriors this year, and the Warriors are having an amazing season so far. And in turn, this Andrew Wiggins rookie card is up about 76% since the start of the season. Now, the next player and card I have here is also on the Warriors. I have Jordan Poole. I have his 2019 Optic base rookie card, and then also his 2019 Prizm base rookie card. Both of these are going to be in PSA 10s. And it looks like for the Prizm base rookie card, that's up 45% since the start of the season. whereas his optic is up 56% since the start of the season. So pretty big gains for Jordan Poole on the Warriors. And this is another player that was under the radar heading into this season. Not a lot of people, collectors or investors, were really talking about Jordan Poole and just the way the Warriors are playing. And Jordan Poole is putting together a pretty decent season this year with the Warriors. So that in turn has led to some pretty significant price increases since the start of the season for Jordan Poole. So I just went over 3 players on the hottest NBA team in the league. Steph Curry is the leader of that team. His card's slightly up since the start of the season, and the other 2 were really under the radar players that have seen pretty significant price increases. Now I'm going to switch over to some other really popular players that are still having some pretty decent years, but their cards are still trending down and down pretty significantly. So I'm going to start off with LeBron James, currently on the Los Angeles Lakers. I have his 2003 Topps base rookie card. This one's in a PSA 10. I also have his 2003 Topps Chrome base rookie card, also in a PSA 10. And it looks like the Topps Chrome base is down a whopping 27%, so a pretty big decline for LeBron James and this rookie card. Whereas his Topps base, which is in his white tuxedo there, his Topps base rookie card is down about 15%, so that one's holding up a little better, but both down double digits since the start of the season. Now, LeBron James did get hurt and has missed a couple of games here and there. He did have a 1-game suspension. He hasn't had the best season so far, but he's still one of the greatest players of all time. But these cards are still down double digits since the start of the season. Next up here, I did find this one kind of interesting, but I have 2 Devin Booker rookie cards here. I have his 2015 Prizm base in a PSA 10. I also have his 2015 Prizm base in a PSA 9. So the same card, the Prizm base in a PSA 9 and also a PSA 10. So it looks like for the big dog here, the PSA 10 is actually down about 17% since the start of the season, whereas the PSA 9 is actually up 25%. So the PSA 9 has gone up pretty significantly, whereas the PSA 10 is actually down pretty significantly since the start of the season. Now, Devin Booker is one of the up-and-coming stars on the Phoenix Suns. He's had a really great season so far, and the Phoenix Suns are on fire. They've won 17 in a row, so they just continue to win, and a lot of that is due to the performance of Devin Booker. But still, I did find that pretty interesting that his PSA 10 is still down 17%, whereas his PSA 9 was up about 25%. So I wonder if that's just a price correction in the PSA 10, or maybe the PSA 9 was slightly undervalued, so that card is ticking up to get closer to the PSA 10. Next card and player I have here is Luka Doncic, and this is another fan favorite. I have his 2018 Prizm base rookie card. This one is going to be in a PSA 10. I also have his 2018 Prizm silver rookie card, also in a PSA 10. And it looks like for the Prizm silver in a PSA 10, this card is down 41% since the start of the season. So a massive decline for the Prizm silver, whereas his Prizm base is down 20%. So again, a pretty big decrease for his rookie card since the start of the season. And Luka's still having a very solid season with the Mavericks. It doesn't look like as of now he's having the MVP season that a lot of people were anticipating, and the Mavs don't really look like a contender in the West, but he's still having a very solid season so far. But still, in turn, his rookie cards are down pretty significantly since the start of the season. The next card and player I have here is Ja Morant. I have his 2019 Optic base rookie card, and then I also have his 2019 Prizm base rookie card. Both of these are going to be in PSA 10s. Now it looks like for the Prizm base rookie card, that's down 20% since the start of the season, whereas the Optic base in the PSA 10 is down 19.3% since the start of the season. So both of these cards are down close to 20% since the start of the season. Ja Morant did start the season really hot. However, he did recently suffer a knee injury that's going to keep him sidelined for a little bit longer. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this card trends over the next month or so as he battles through that injury. But as of right now, again, pretty significant decreases in Ja Morant and his rookie cards since the start of the season. The next card and player I have here is another fan favorite and the playoff darling of last year. This is Trey Young, and I have his 2018 Optic base rookie card in a PSA 10. I also have his 2018 Prizm base rookie card in a PSA 10 as well. Now it looks like since the start of the season, the Prizm base rookie card is down about 29%, so a very big decrease for the Prizm base rookie card. And then his Optic base is down 42%, so again, another massive decrease for Trey Young in both of his rookie cards since the start of the season. Now, Trey Young is another player that's having a pretty solid season this year. He didn't really take the step forward that I think a lot of collectors and investors were hoping that he was going to do, and he's not really playing at the same high level that he was in last year's playoffs. But again, he is still having a very solid season this year, but still in turn, his rookie cards are down pretty significantly since the start of the season. The next card and player I have here is Giannis Antetokounmpo, last year's NBA championship winner, and I have his 2013 Prizm base rookie card in a PSA 10, and then also have his 2013 Prizm base rookie card in a PSA 9. So both Prizm base rookie cards, one in a PSA 10 and one in a PSA 9. So for the PSA 10, it looks like that's down about 17% since the start of the season, whereas his PSA 9 is down 19%. So again, down 20% since the start of the season for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And again, this is a championship winner last year, has multiple MVPs, still an extremely young and talented player with a lot of upside heading into the future, and still on a very solid Bucks team in the East. But still, in turn, we have seen pretty significant decreases for Giannis and his Prizm base rookie cards. Now, the last card and player I have on today's list is Zion Williamson. I have his 2019 Optic base rookie card in a PSA 10, also his 2019 Prizm base rookie card. Both of these are in PSA 10s. Now, it looks like for the Prizm base rookie card, that's down about 36% since the start of the season, whereas the Optic base rookie card is down about 26% since the start of the season. This one isn't really a shocker, as Zion did have a surprise surgery in the offseason on his foot, and then once he came back from that injury, still not ready to play yet, but there have been some pictures of him on the court where he has gained a pretty significant amount of weight, which is pretty alarming, especially for how big he is already. So these decreases aren't really that shocking. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can keep the weight off and return to last year's form, as he did have a very solid season last year, but still, his rookie cards are down since the start of the season, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Pelicans are terrible. He had that surprise surgery over the summer, and then also he did gain a significant amount of weight during the offseason with that foot injury. So it's really going to be interesting to see how he returns. But with all that being said, after we looked at quite a few charts here, as you can see, there are a couple players that really exceeded expectations. Most of those players are going to be on the Warriors, as they're kind of the surprise team this year in the West. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, also Andrew Wiggins. Their cards have gone up through the first month and a half of the season, as they really exceeded expectations from a team and also a player standpoint. We do also have the majority of the sports card market. There are a lot of players that are extremely popular and still playing pretty well, such as Devin Booker on a Suns team that won 17 games in a row. His cards, one card's going up, one card's going down. We're not seeing the significant increases that we're seeing on some of the cards like we saw on the Warriors. And then also we have players like Luka, who are still extremely popular. LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time. Some of the best players in the game who still have a lot of hype around them. A lot of their cards are still trending down, even though they're having pretty solid seasons this year. So overall, it does appear that the majority of the NBA basketball sports card market is trending down, and it doesn't look like it's trending down slightly. It does look like it is a pretty significant decrease. This is something that we have seen in the past, where the NBA sports card market does trend down during the season. It does seem like this year is a little more extreme than some of the prior years. It's going to be really interesting to see how some of these players and their cards bounce back towards the playoffs. That's typically when we see a lot more price movement, is when a player or team really exceeds expectations in the playoffs. So that is something to keep an eye on, just to track some of these players. And if some of these players and their cards reach a level where you feel comfortable picking them up, this could be a decent time to start looking at some of their cards and putting them on your radar, as typically we do see some price movements heading into the playoffs depending on individual players and their performances throughout the playoffs. But with all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining and also informative. If you did, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.